Thank you so much for tuning in to Flowing Life, where we love God, love people, and we live life. This is living.
Judges chapter 7. And I want to give us a heads up even before I get into this message today, to let you know that today's message is going to be a tough message. Somebody said tough message. Yeah, y'all said that real quiet. It's going to be a tough message. Today is going to be a tough message. Because I think oftentimes as believers, oftentimes as Christians, we live in this life thinking that everything is going to be smooth, it's going to be easy. And then let one little thing come up that does not go according to plan, and then everything is messed up. Your whole attitude messed up. Your whole day is messed up just because one little thing went off course. Judges chapter 7. Here we go. Judges chapter 7. Is everybody there? This is what it says in verse 2. And the Lord said to Gideon, the people who are with you are too many for me to give the Midianites into their hands, lest Israel claim glory for itself against me, saying, my own hand has saved me. So this is what the Lord said in verse 3. Now therefore proclaim in the hearing of the people, saying, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn, depart at once from Mount Gilead. And 22,000 of the people returned, and 10,000 remained. 22,000 people left, and 10,000 remained. 22,000 people left, and 10,000 remained. He said, if you are afraid and if you are fearful, I am giving you permission to leave. Because the battle that I'm calling you to is not for the person who's going to have fear in their heart. It's not for the person that's going to shrink back every time something happens in their life. Listen, this morning, this is going to be a very mature message. This ain't going to be a message for somebody who just needs the milk of the word. This ain't going to be a message for somebody who needs to be pacified this morning. I'm telling you, I'm giving you a heads up already. This is going to be a tough message. Just because you are a Christian does not mean that God is going to pull you out of every single problem that you encounter in life. Heard 3 people talk back to me because y'all don't believe it. Because y'all think that just because you're experiencing some difficulty, that God got to swing through and take you out of it. But I want to persuade you, I want to convince you this morning that even if God doesn't remove the storm, I'll do you one better. God will jump in the storm with you. He'll let you know that he's right there with you. Listen, y'all, 22,000 men left. Now, if I didn't know this story too well, and he said, anybody who is fearful and afraid, I want you to leave. And if I knew that you had 32,000 warriors, I would guess, all right, we might lose a couple thousand, right? A couple thousand might decide they want to go home. A couple thousand might have been thinking, I got food sitting on the stove that's still hot. I can still make it back in time. A few thousand might have been thinking, I got to get back home to my job. I got to get back home to my wife, to my kids. I miss my family already. Maybe a few thousand. It says that 22,000 turned away. You do the math. That's somewhere around 65, 70%. 65, 70% of the people got permission to leave if they were fearful, and they left. Because we go through our daily lives thinking that everything is supposed to be perfect. Everything is supposed to go according to our plans and to our schedule. And let one thing go different than what you planned it, and now you're throwing a pity party. Now you complaining. Now everybody at your job has to know that you're having a bad day, right? It's raining outside. I can't go to church today. Can't make it to church. I ain't trying to get wet. I just got my hair done. I just got these shoes. Is God worthy of you messing up your hair? Is God worthy of you messing up the new shoes that he just blessed you with? Well, now y'all got to stream online, and so I think I'm going to just stay at home and be comfortable and just stream online today because I had a late night last night, and so I don't feel like waking up early to get to church in the morning. So let me just stick to what's convenient and what's comfortable, and let me just see it online, right? Any little thing that comes up that is contrary to how you feel like your day, your schedule, your life is supposed to go, then all of a sudden you feel like God done left you. God, why have you forsaken me? Why have you left me? Because you weren't able to pay one bill. God, why have you left me? Why have you forsaken me? Because you got sickness in your body. I told y'all this was going to be a tough message this morning. And I know y'all probably listened to it. Well, Pastor Ty, man, those are real issues. You know, people really got to pay bills. People are really losing houses. People are really, their health is messed up. But who do you depend on more? The medicine or God? Who do you depend on more? Your job or God? Who do you depend on more? He gave him permission to leave. He says, now therefore proclaim, saying, whoever is fearful and afraid, let him turn. Depart at once from Mount Gilead. 22,000. 70% of the people left. 10,000 remain. Now, I know you might be thinking like, okay, well, all right, it's not crazy. 22,000 left. I still got a solid 10,000, right? We still doing pretty good. This is what happens if we skip down. It says in verse 4, but the Lord said to Gideon, the people are still too many. Bring them down to the water, and I will test them for you there. Watch this. Then it will be that of whom I say to you, this one shall go with you, the same shall go with you, and of whomever I say to you, this one shall not go with you, the same shall not go. What God pretty much says to him is that I'm going to decide the ones that go with you. Because there are people, watch this, there are people who said they weren't afraid. There are people who said they weren't fearful. There are people who said that they were with you, that they would have your back no matter what. And then God says, but they lying though. The ones that said they weren't afraid, now I got to sift out even more. Because they said they weren't afraid, and on the surface, they look like they with you. On the surface, they look like they ready to fight. On the surface, they look like they down for whatever. But I'm about to test their heart. This is what he says in verse 5. Judges 7, verse 5. So he brought the people down to the water. And the Lord said to Gideon, everyone who laps from the water with his tongue as a dog laps, you shall set apart by himself. Likewise, everyone who gets down on his knees to drink, and the number of those who lapped putting their hand to their mouth was 300 men. Somebody say 300. Anybody ever seen that movie? 300? Oh my God. 300. Them boys were fierce. Those boys were bad. Listen, give me 300 fierce warriors. I'll take 300 over 32,000 people who are afraid any day. He says, I need to chop it down to 300 because everybody who said they're with you is not really with you. He chops it down to 300. Let's do the math again. Started off with 32,000. Now we're down to 300. If there ever was a time to panic, this would probably be that time. We're going to war. We're about to fight against a Midianite army. I didn't tell y'all this part. That has an army of 120,000. Midianite army has 120,000. I probably should have panicked when we had 32,000 going up against 120,000. But God stripped away all the people who was fearful. Now I have 10,000, and then God strips them away, now down to 300. Now I got 300 mighty warriors that are going against an army of 120,000. I've already done the math for you. You don't have to do it. That is 450 men for every one soldier. you don't got to think about this too long, right? If it's me fighting against 450 babies, that's a fight that I don't think I'm going to win. If it's me against my 2 kids just for the weekend, that's probably not a fight that I'm going to win. We're talking about one person against 450 warriors. This should be a time to panic. God says, now I'm about to separate the men from the boys. Now I'm about to separate the women from the girls. Now I'm about to separate the warriors from the civilians. How am I going to do this? The person who gets down on their knees and laps the water with their tongue like a dog, I need you to set them to the side. The person that gets down and cups the water with their hands and brings it up to their mouth, set them aside. They're going to be another group. I need to distinguish the warriors from the civilians. I need to distinguish the people who said that they weren't afraid, and that's just putting on the front, because that's what Pastor Ty wants us to do, and I'm going to show up for church, and I'm going to show up for the stream team, and I'm going to show up for my friends, and I'm going to show up for my family, because I'm not afraid. Put them all in one group. We'll see. But then the ones who get down and they cup the water into their hands and they bring it up to their mouth, put them in another group. We need to make a distinction, because the one that gets down on his knees and puts his face down in the water is not fit for the fight. Why, Pastor Ty? I mean, they made it past the first cut. Because if you get down, maybe I need to give you a visual today. Because if you get down to the water and you stick your face all the way down in the water, you can't see the enemy approaching. You can't see what's attacking against you. You can't see the person who is supposed to be providing everything that you need. In this case, Gideon is the leader. How can I be led if I can't see my leader? Oh my God. How can I be led if I can't see God? If the only thing that I'm focused on is that, oh my God, I'm about to say something. I hope y'all hear this. How can I focus on the thing that I need and still expect to see the person where my provision is supposed to be coming from? All right, God, I need you. All right, God, you're the only one that can make this happen. With your face stuck so focused on what you need. Listen, I need y'all to hear what I'm saying loud and clear this morning. We need money. We need to pay our bills. We need the lights to stay on. We need formula for the babies to eat. We need our cars so we can make it back and forth to work. We need our jobs so that we can have provision to take care of everything. We need our health in our body. We need our mental stability. These are all things that we need. We can't argue with the fact that we have needs. But are you focused more on your need than God? He says that everybody who puts more focus on their need, get rid of them. Because they really have fear in their hearts. I know they said that they weren't fearful. I know that they said that they weren't afraid, but their actions speak much louder. Because if you weren't afraid, then you would cup the water into your hands and keep your eyes on your provider. You would keep your eyes on Gideon. You would keep your eyes on your surroundings. You would be aware and alert of everything that's going on around you, even while getting the thing that you need. What do you need more? The water or God? What do you need more? Your bills being paid or God? I'll answer the question for you. If your bills get paid, but you don't have God, then your bills won't be sustained anyway. If I have health in my body, but I don't have God, then it'll be the difference between being healed and being made whole. If I am healed, then I might go back to the same thing that had me before. But if I get made whole, then the thing that had me won't be able to have me anymore. It's the difference between being delivered and being set free. We can be delivered from a thing, but then run back to the thing that had us captive. But when we are made free, no longer how much Satan tries to shackle us and put us back in the cage that we've been delivered from, we can't go back once we've been freed. What do you need more? Even Jesus gave an example of this. It said that Jesus, after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, I don't know about y'all, but in my fasted lifestyle, I challenge y'all to do the same, to fast at least one day a week. Every Wednesday when I fast, at the end of my fast, I'm hungry. Tayshawn, don't sound too spiritual. Because at the end of a fast, especially on a Wednesday, and we got midweek encouragement, live stream on Wednesday, after a fast, oh, Pastor Ty, I need to hear that you charged up. You done denied your flesh, and you're ready to feed us our spiritual food. At the end of my fast, I am hungry for a biscuit. I am hungry for a sandwich. I am hungry for bread. I am hungry for water, for juice, whatever I can get my hands on. Honestly, at the time, it don't even have to be the most nutritious thing. If it's a cookie, I'll take it. I am hungry. If you read through your Bible, at the end of Jesus' 40 days and 40 nights, it says that, and Jesus was hungry. Satan knew he was hungry. So the first thing that Satan comes to do is, let me tempt you with the thing that I already know you need. Not the thing that I desire, not the thing I want. Oftentimes we talk about our desires and being tempted of the flesh. We're talking about things that our eyes want, things that are tempting, things that we see. Oh man, I love her. Oh man, I like him. Oh man, I want to go this. I want to do this. I want to have this. I want to drink this. I want to smoke this. It's all these natural things that we're tempted with. What says Jesus was hungry. This was the thing that he needed. This was a bare necessity. This was essential to his very life. Yet Satan tempted him with the thing that he needed. Can you be tempted by a promotion on your job? Y'all ain't even talking to me this morning. I'm going to talk to myself. Y'all don't see that as temptation, right? Could it be tempting for them to offer me a promotion even though I don't have peace about it? God, I know that you don't want me in this position. I know you don't want me on this job. I know they're going to pay me 2-3 times more than what I'm getting paid right now. Oh, man, and it sounds so good, but the reason that it's so tempting is because I know that this is not what you have for me. Jesus is hungry. And Satan says, well, you know what? You're God. So why don't you turn this stone into bread? This is what you need. And Jesus says something very important right here. He says, man shall not live by bread alone. Still need it. But this is not the thing that I need more than God. He says, man shall not live by bread alone, but man should live by every word that comes out of the mouth of God. Which lets us know that there is something that I need much more than natural food, and that is God. Now, if I need God more than natural food, then I need God more than anything else, because that is the only thing in life that I can't go without. Listen, I'm trying to help us today, because a lot of times, every single day, we are going through challenges, problems, situations, circumstances, things that come up, and I'm not ignorant to the fact that even y'all who walked in today or people who are streaming online, that you have some very real situations and issues that are waiting for you just outside of these doors and once we finish service. I'm not ignorant to that fact. This is what I'm saying, that when God raises you up as a believer, he is raising up warriors. He is raising up fighters. He is raising up a people who has already agreed at the beginning that I am signing up for persecution. I am signing up for trials and tribulation. I am signing up for all the things that come with being a believer. I don't know where this theology or where this idea or where this thought comes from, where people feel like, well, once I get saved, that everything is just going to be smooth. Everything's supposed to be easy. And then when it doesn't, all right, God, well, God ain't worked for me. He ain't turned my situation around. He ain't bring me no money. He didn't prosper me. He didn't heal my body. And so let me go find somebody else that can do it. Oh, well, I ain't coming to church this week because, God didn't pay my bill this week. I know I ain't talking to none of y'all there. I'm talking to somebody, not even a streaming audience. I'm talking to somebody else. I'm not coming to church this week because I've been believing God to heal my body for the last few months or maybe the last few years, and he ain't done it yet, and so I don't believe in that God stuff anymore. Or God ain't come through when I needed him most, and so I'm just willing to leave everything that I know about him. Who told you it was going to be easy? Who told you that you wasn't going to have any storms? That you wasn't going to have any problems, tribulations, any hard moments in life? This is what comes with the territory. You know what would be the easy life? What would be the easy life is for you to say, man, you know what? I have no convictions. I don't need God. I'm just going to live by however the wind blows me. And however I feel when I wake up in the morning, that's what I'm going to do. However I feel in the moment, that's what I'm going to do. However I want to respond in the moment, I'm going to be led by my emotions. I'm going to be led by my feelings. I'm going to be led by my own moral compass. That's easy. What's not easy is you committing your life to a God that you can't even see with your physical eyes. What's not easy is being able to serve and to sense a God that you can't feel with your natural hands. What's not easy is you going through a storm and not feeling like he's with you, but having to know on the inside that he is. In Psalm 63, I think it is. Psalm 63, you don't have to turn there, but you can write it down. This is what the psalmist said. He said, "Oh God, you are my God. Early will I seek you." This is the really good part right here. He says, "My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you in a dry and thirsty land where there is no water." Oh, my God. Listen, David is in the wilderness, and it just so happens that this wilderness is a desert as well. You have to understand that the wilderness and the desert isn't the same thing. The wilderness is just the wild, uncivilized. The desert is, which means that it's dry. There's no water, right? There's no food. He's in the wilderness, which happens to be a desert, right? I'm out here with these wild animals. I'm out here in this uncivilized life. I don't have bread. I don't have water. And in this moment, even when people are seeking to kill him, this is what David says. He says, "My soul thirsts for you. My flesh longs for you." Interesting that David decides to use these two things to describe his hunger and his thirst for God. You know why? Because your soul and your flesh are normally the two things that get you in trouble the most. Gosh, why? I would absolutely understand if David just said, "Man, you know what? I long for you. I thirst for you. I'm hungry for you." I would understand if he said, "Man, my spirit, it needs you." I would understand that. But for him to say, "My soul and my flesh," wait a minute. My soul, my intellect, my emotions, my feelings, my thought processing, that longs for you? My flesh, oh Lord Jesus, let me not go down the list of the things that the flesh longs for, right? My flesh longs for you? This is a situation where David has no water. The thing that he needs in order to live. And he says, more than the very thing that I need to live, God, I need you more. This is why his soul and his flesh was crying out to God, because his soul and his flesh, he recognized that he needed God more than his emotions, more than his feelings, more than his flesh, more than his intellect, more than water itself. You can't go more than 3 days without water. You need it. It's essential. And he says, God, I need you even more than that. God, do any of us want God more than that? More than the things that we feel like we need. So the passage says, it says in Judges, he says, I need you to get rid of all the people who are fearful and afraid. Get rid of all the people who just keep coming to church and they're not really after the heart of God. Now, I ain't talking about the person that just pops up as a visitor and they just come and they just say, hey, I want to check it out. Everybody is welcome. I ain't talking about the person that's been coming for a while and they're kind of steadily growing. And God, I know, just meet me where I am. I know I'm still messed up, jacked up, just like everybody else. But they keep coming and they keep growing. I'm talking about the person who keeps coming but does not have a desire for God more than their natural needs. He says, on the surface, yeah, it looks real good. You look like a fighter. You look like a warrior. You got your tools in your hand like you're ready to fight, but your eyes are not on me. You're more focused on your need. Oh, my God. Watch this. In Judges chapter 6, when God first meets Gideon, this is what he says to him. It says in verse 12 of Judges chapter 6, just the chapter before, when he first meets him, he says, and the angel of the Lord appeared to him, talking about Gideon, and said to him, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. Let me put this in context. Gideon, they're already being oppressed by the Midian army, right? They're already beating them up. They're already bullying them. They're already fighting them. They're already taking all of their goods and all of their fruit and their harvest. Gideon is hiding in a wine press, threshing wheat, because, and the Bible makes it clear, he's hiding in the wine press because he's afraid that the Midian army is going to come and steal his fruit. He's hiding, right? This is the man that's about to lead the Israel army. He's hiding because he's fearful of the Midian army. Notice when God first meets him here, he says, the Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor. Watch this. He greets him by his assignment and not his situation. He could have approached him and said, why are you hiding? Why are you afraid? Why are you fearful? He could have talked down to Gideon and said, all right, now I need to bring you up to the level that I've created you to operate on. It's almost like he ignores his situation. He greets him and he says, I'm with you, you mighty man of valor. He calls him by his assignment. He calls him by the name of the purpose that he's about to fulfill, even before he fulfills it. Today, God calls you by your assignment. He's not looking at your situation. He's waiting for you to put your eyes on him, to fix your eyes on him instead of the thing that you feel like you need today. God, if you don't come through today, it's not going to work. And God is sitting back like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to let it come, and then I'm going to let the time pass. I'm going to let it expire because I need you to see me even in it. I know somebody this morning, you're probably sitting back and you're waiting. All right, as soon as this storm passes, as soon as I get through this trial, as soon as I get through this situation, God, I'm going to give you everything. While God is saying, no, but I want you to find me in it. Can you find me in it? When the disciples are on the boat and the storm comes, they find Jesus sleeping. They find Jesus taking a nap. Why is Jesus relaxing while so much turmoil is going on? Because Jesus knows something that they don't know. That the very winds and waves that they are afraid of are subject to his voice. That the thing that is holding you captive, that the thing that you're so worried about, so stressed out about, that thing has to obey God's voice. God is not freaking out about your situation. God is not worked up about what you're going through. God ain't losing no sleep about what's going on in your personal life. God is at ease. He's chill. I got to figure out a way how I'm going to end this message today, but I'm going to just keep going. Taylor, the other day, she was working on a project. Don't turn me down too much in the mic. I want to hear myself scream in the speakers. No, honestly, I just don't want to lose my voice. Just bring it down just a little bit more. Taylor was working on some arts and crafts at home. And now what she was doing wasn't very wise. Everybody who has kids, they do some not smart things on a pretty consistent basis. From what I hear from my parents, I did some pretty dumb things when I was a kid too. I'm not exempt. It's probably something that I would have did. Honestly, I've done the same thing, except it was a little bit worse. Let me explain it to you. She was doing arts and crafts. She had a box that she was working on. First, she was drawing on it, and she was painting on it. But then she decided she wanted to create a face. So with this face, she wanted the eyes. But she wanted the eyes to be realistic, so she wanted to poke holes in the box so that she could see through the box. She has a pencil that is freshly sharpened, and she pokes it through the box, which would be okay if the box was sitting on a flat surface, which would be okay if the box was sitting on the floor, which would have been okay if the box was sitting on something that would not have been hurt or punctured by the pencil going through it. But she had the box in her hand, right? Ain't no judgment. I've done far dumber things. For me, it was a knife. For me, it was a knife. I was poking holes through a can and jabbed myself in the hand. I still have the mark on my hand to prove it. She's much smarter than me. So she had a pencil, jabs it through the box, and pokes herself in the hand. She doesn't freak out. I see it. She doesn't know I saw it. So she's just sitting there looking at her hand. I said, baby, what happened? It didn't hurt before I said anything. Okay. So mommy, why are you crying? She tough, man. Mama is tough. Mama is tough. I'm joking. I'm the tough one in the house. But in this moment, man, I was soft. I melted. I said, look, it's okay. She's crying. She's boo-hooing. I said, okay, all right. Go to the bathroom, clean it up, wash it off, come back out. She comes out. She washes it off. We get some peroxide. Got some peroxide. Doesn't sting at all. She doesn't know that. To her, everything hurts right now. Got some peroxide. And I said, Taylor, I need to clean it up. She starts screaming even before I touch her. I said, Taylor, it's okay. It's not going to hurt. It is all right. Taylor, it's okay. She's still boo-hooing, crying. Her face is just soaking wet in tears. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to give you a little moment. Take a few seconds, get it all out. Because we can't do this while you sitting there screaming and yelling. She's still crying. My grace is not like God's grace. My grace runs out after about 2 minutes. So she's sitting there crying, and I'm like, Taylor. Her eyes are closed, just bawling, crying. Taylor. I said, look at me. I said, does it look like I'm panicking right now? Oh, y'all gonna get this. I said, does it look like I'm freaking out right now? Do you see Daddy panicking, frantically, trying to find Band-Aids or something to clean you up? Do you see us calling 911, ask for an ambulance to come and pick you up? Taylor, what am I doing right now? I said, this should be a sign as to what your response should be. When our eyes are fixed on our need, when we're the dog lapping the water up with our tongue and we're not able to see or aware of anything around us, we're so fixed on our need that we can't see God. And in the middle of any situation that you are going through, if you can fix your attention on God. When we go on these missions trips and we're in third world countries, matter of fact, a few weeks ago when I was in Zambia, we heard a loud bang. It was a loud boom. I jumped. People saw me jump. Other people laughed because other people jumped too. And immediately in that moment, when you're in another country and you hear a boom or a bang, this ain't time to try to go investigate and figure out what's going on. Like, we run, we hide, and then we figure it out later. One thing I told the group right after it happened, yes, I jumped, but after I jumped, I told the group, I said, look at the locals. I'm about to help y'all out real good today. I said, look at the locals. Are the locals panicking? Everybody just walking around, minding their business like nothing happened. I said, that should be our response. That should be a sign as to how we should respond to what we just heard. If they are not panicking, we shouldn't be panicking. I'm about to say something really good right here. If your pastor ain't panicking, you shouldn't be panicking. We just came through a whole pandemic. How can I say this? I learned a lot during the pandemic. Y'all probably did too. People that you thought were really strong, you saw them cave in. People that you thought were pretty weak, you saw them rise to the occasion. For some of you, maybe even personally, it might have been your situation where you thought you were strong and then you found yourself being weak. Where you didn't think that you were that strong in God, but then you found yourself navigating through it like a soldier. Everybody had to go through the pandemic around the entire world. Wasn't just a problem in America. Wasn't just a problem in Africa. Wasn't just a problem in Europe. Wasn't just a problem in China. The entire world had to deal with it. So if your attention and your focus was on the media, was on the news, was on death, let's bring it up to speed. If your focus is on the economic crisis, they're predicting that the economy is about to collapse. If your focus is on how much the housing market is right now, if your focus is on how much gas prices cost right now, our main focus should be God. But if for whatever reason, all right, God, I just can't see you clearly in this, let me look for my spiritual leader. How is my spiritual leader responding to the gas prices going up? I got to leave out of here today and fill up on gas. I ain't about to just put $5 in there just so I can make it to my destination. Let me help y'all this morning, because y'all listening so good this morning, I'm going to give y'all something. Listen, fill it up. Fill it up. Fill it up. Fill it up. What you are telling God is, God, I trust you. All right, Pastor Ty, already did my budget for this week. Gas right now, in order to fill up my tank, costs $75. And if I spend this $75 to fill up my tank, I ain't going to have enough for bread. Well, guess what? You can fast for 3 days. Believe God that he's going to fill it up. Listen. I'm telling you what I know. God is not panicked. God is not freaking out. Your pastors, your leaders are not freaking out. They talking about an economic collapse. Y'all seen the housing market. Initially, me and my wife, we said, man, you know what? Let's wait until things calm down. Let's wait until things relax to start looking for a house. But then I think something started rising up in us. Don't you think God does his best work in hard times? Don't you think that God is looking for moments to show off when everybody is dealing with the same thing at the same time? Where do we make our distinction as leaders, as Christians? How about that? Where do we make our distinction as believers, being in the world but not of it? When everybody else is down with their mouth to the water while we're cupping it and bringing it up to our face, we should be aware at all times. God, what are you doing in this season? God, do you want me looking for a house right now? All right, it don't make sense. But guess what? If the market comes down, there's going to be about 50, 75 people bidding on your house, right? Market goes down, you're going to be in a bidding war, so the price is going to go back up anyway. But if God puts it on your heart to step out even in hard times, don't you believe that the man who told you to do it can also provide for you? Don't you believe that the one who promised it is also faithful to fulfill it? This is all I'm saying today, y'all. In this life, we will experience, not if, not maybe, not sometimes, maybe this season, maybe not next season. You will experience hardship. My job is to simply prepare you for it, so that when things start to happen, when things go contrary to what you planned and how you thought it should go, that you'll still be able to stand even in the middle of the storm. That you'll still be able to stand and be faithful even when things are not going quite according to what you thought they should look like. That you're still able to come into the building even when it's raining. That you're still able to come in even though you have the conveniences of streaming online. Yes, I'm going to say it because I told y'all this is going to be a tough message. This is not one of those churches where you come and just be comfortable. This is not one of those churches that's just going to pacify you. All right, everything's going to be good. Everything is going to be perfect. Your life is going to be paved, and he's going to lay out the street of gold for you and just walk this path of life out. You will experience hardship. You will experience hurt. You will experience people that stab you in the back. You will experience loss. It will happen. But if your attention is focused on God, then you'll be able to see him in it. You'll be able to see him in the midst of it. Everybody stand to your feet. Let's go ahead and pray. There's no way I can finish everything that God put in me to share with y'all today. Hopefully this will just be a deposit of many. My assignment this morning, Father, I thank you that you gave me an assignment this morning to really charge up your people. We ain't raising up no wimps. We are not raising up any wimps. We are not raising up any spineless Christians. God, but I thank you that you are creating a military of warriors. People who will cup the water and pull it up to their mouths. People who are aware of their surroundings. People who keep their eyes locked on their provider. God, I thank you. Because maybe there's somebody even now under the sound of my voice, somebody who's here, or maybe even somebody streaming online. You saying, Pastor Ty, right now is really tough. It is. I'll just be honest. My mind is all over the place. My thoughts, some days I can't really reel them in. My emotions running wild. My feelings scattered. Like people are pulling me all sorts of different kind of ways. I feel like I'm wearing myself thin. I feel like I've been believing God for something and he hasn't come through yet. Maybe I feel like I've hit a ceiling of my growth. But God, no matter the circumstance, no matter the situation, no matter what comes up against me, I thank you that you see me by my assignment. You see me through the lens of my purpose. You see me through the filter of my calling. Father, you see me through the blood of Jesus. And that everything that I go through, just like he told Gideon, he said, I am with you, you mighty man of valor. And honestly, God, today, that's all I need to know is that you're with me. Because if you're with me, then I have provision. If you're with me, oh my God, then I have peace. If you're with me, then I have rest. God, I thank you. Thank you, God, that you're with us. Help us not to ever take our eyes off of you. not to be distracted by our situation, but to keep our eyes locked on you.
Good morning, everyone. We hope you enjoyed the service today. In case you missed any part of the message, no worries. All of our messages are archived on our YouTube channel. Feel free to click the channel, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification button so you get all the latest videos that we have as soon as they air. If you're blessed by the message today and you feel led to sow into the ministry, you can do so online on our website or via our Cash App. For more information about the upcoming events, please follow us on our social media platforms on Facebook and Instagram. Feel free to share anything that you've learned today with a friend and invite them to join you next week right here on our live broadcast. Lastly, thank you so much for tuning in to Flowing Life, where we love God, love people, and we live life. This is living.